Hello, my name is Jackie Cram. Myself and my colleague Alina Payton are both children's occupational therapists who work in NHS Forth Valley. This video is going to give you some ways to encourage your child to develop their motor skills and understand the importance of this for their future learning and development. We're going to give you hints and tips on how to make activities you do just right for your child. So firstly, what are motor skills? There are two types of motor skills, gross motor skills and fine motor skills. These are different but interlinked. Gross motor skills help children do the big activities they come across in daily life, such as being able to run, jump, climb, ride a bike, go on a trampoline and play with a ball. They need to be able to have strength, balance, coordination of different parts of their body and an awareness of where they are in space. Fine motor skills are smaller movements of the hands, which enables the child to hold, grip and place objects using their hands. This allows them to participate in activities such as writing, using scissors, being able to play games, carrying out arts and crafts and doing self-care skills like getting dressed and using cutlery. In order to do this, they need to build strength in their hands and require to be able to judge the pressure to use when manipulating objects, such as lifting a jug to pour juice or doing up a button. Motor skills usually develop through pregnancy, childhood and adolescence. Gross motor skills develop through regular active play and physical activity. Many daily activities use both gross and fine motor skills and are required to enable a child to take part in activities in and out of school, when playing with their friends, taking part in hobbies, leisure pursuits, and when doing self-care activities. By giving your child regular opportunities to practice these skills in a variety of environments that they come across in daily life, this will encourage further development. This can be done at home, in the playground, at school, in the park, the garden, or at the beach. Motor skills are important as they are the foundation building blocks that are required as a basis for the majority of activities we carry out on a daily basis. Developing fine and gross motor skills helps children explore their environment, engage with others and learn. It allows refinement of skills which will enable them to be able to achieve more complex activities required for independence at home, through school and on into the workplace. Children will become more confident individuals and hopefully enjoy joining in games with their friends. Children who are active and get regular exercise are more likely to sleep well and be more physically and mentally healthy. The benefits of practicing motor skills. In school, children may be more able to sit and attend in class, leading to improvement in skills, and with improved concentration, learning is increased. They may be more able and confident to tackle daily tasks such as handwriting, using rulers, scissors, participating in PE and other practical subjects such as art, home economics, etc. At home, they may become more independent with activities of daily living such as dressing, using cutlery and playing independently with their friends. So let's have a think about one activity children love and look at what skills are involved in achieving it. Playing on a chute in the park. When a child goes to climb the ladder, he will hold on with both hands, using strength in their arms and hands, coordination and grip. They will place one foot on alternate steps. If they're at a stage, they may put 2 feet to each step. They will need strength, stability and balance to engage and allow them to go up the steps. They'll need to know where they are in space and judge the distance to the step and the pressure to use to step onto it. And they'll also need to maintain the balance all the way up. When they finally get to the top, they'll have to plan how to get their legs around to sit at the top of the chute. This is a complex task involving hands, arms, legs and body. It involves a lot of problem solving, working together of different body parts, keeping the balance and knowing where the body is in space. They may not get it right first time, and that's okay. He needs time to work it out for themselves and try again. It is good for children to learn through their mistakes, correct themselves, and know next time how they'll get it done. When finally in the sitting position and ready to go, they'll need to push off using the correct pressure with the hands, feet, or both. They'll need to hold the body stable through strength of the muscles, and they'll need to keep the balance until they get to the bottom. When they're at the bottom, they'll need to be able to stop in a controlled manner, not flying off the end or the side. And we'll need to gather body strength to stand up, to keep the balance and walk off to the next fun challenge. Wow, such a simple activity, but so many skills required. We take for granted these skills that we need for the most simplest life tasks. Let's think now about a simple activity we do with our hands. Finger football. With only the resources of a piece of paper, our hands, and an empty box, we can make a fun activity. Get your child to prepare it. Get them to rip strips of paper. This is great for practicing the use of two hands together. They'll have to have good control, coordination, and judge the pressure to use. The paper can be coloured or decorated prior to starting the activity, which will work on fine motor and pencil skills. Use of a thicker paper or card will be more challenging. Encourage them to use just one hand to scrunch up a piece of paper into a ball. Get them to squeeze it to encourage the hand strengthening, and then move on to the next strip of paper, scrunching it up into a ball. Get them to manipulate the ball between the palm of their hand and their fingers to make a small ball shape. This may be tricky. You can do this repeatedly to make a pile of small balls. Take one ball at a time and get them to place it in front of their hands. Flick the ball between the thumb and index or middle finger into the goal, which can be a box on its side. Enjoy the game. Alina is now going to give you more hints and tips on ways to encourage your child's development through play.
Now we're going to look at how to improve your motor skills and give some hints and tips. No cost should be involved, just time spent with family, carers, friends, etc., which also helps with socialisation and communication skills. Through completing everyday tasks and playing, such as getting out of bed in the morning, walking downstairs or going to get breakfast, collecting items for breakfast such as cutlery, cereal, bowl, then eating it, washing the face, brushing teeth, getting dressed and going to school, which involves lots of various activities. Don't miss technology, it has its place, especially going forward, but everything in moderation. Put the tech down, go outside for a walk, run in the fresh air, play a game inside and make a snack together. The activities should be short and sweet and be done little and often. It's important to practice, repeat these activities so they can be consolidated. Best learning and development takes place when everyone is relaxed, engaged, motivated and in a positive environment and having fun. Think of things that are achievable and don't take too long. Also think of safety. Make sure that what you're asking of your child is safe and achievable. Allow kids to watch you, others complete tasks before and give them time to process instructions. Indoor activities could be including making a tent, den with sheets or blankets, playing games, lying on the floor, cooking, baking, and at bath time encourage children to squeeze sponges, face cloths, and then also going on to complete threading tasks, use of blocks, jigsaws, posting coins into a box, ripping up paper into small pieces to scrunch up and play finger football. Other activities for outdoors is visiting local parks, beaches, going up hills, through forest areas for different terrain to walk on, climbing trees, walls within safe limits for your child, collecting leaves, sticks to make collages with, jumping over cracks, lying on pavements, drawing with chalk outside and then washing off with paintbrush and water. The next thing we're going to look at is how to grade activities, what we call the Just Right Challenge. First thing we're going to look at is learning to jump. So what skills are required to jump with 2 feet? You need balance to stand on 2 feet upright without support. You need coordination of both sides of the body to jump with 2 feet together and land 2 feet together safely. You need good muscle control to bend knees and push upwards and lift feet off the ground. Knowing where your body is in space to ensure that you judge the force, land safely and do not fall over. So why can't my child jump? Break the task down to see what your child can and cannot do, i.e. some children do not bend their knees in preparation to push upwards to jump. Some children find it difficult to lift their feet off the ground. Some children struggle to stand upright without support. Some children cannot land with 2 feet together, and when they jump and cannot maintain their balance on landing, so lose their balance. How can I help my child? If the child struggles to bend down, practice this standing and bending down to retrieve objects from the floor or a box. Demonstrate this with them by holding their hands and encouraging them to bend their knees like you. If they struggle to lift their feet off the ground, go on a trampoline or some of the bouncy equipment at the parks that they can stand on and feel the sensation of bouncing up and down. Hold their hands and help them bounce if they struggle to do that. Give them some visual cues of where to jump up to and land, i.e. outside on a square slab. How can I improve their jumping skills? So make the task of jumping harder by carrying out dynamic jumping where they have to jump and move forward. So jumping over a line drawn on the ground or the cracks on pavements outside or a piece of string inside. Progress onto something bigger, so jumping over a cushion. Jumping over string that's been tied around 2 chairs or objects that's not far off the ground and gradually increase the height of the string they have to jump over. Move to jumping in and out of a sequence of squares. Encourage them to jump off on small steps in or outside the house and gradually increase the height of things they can jump off on within their safe limits. Encourage them to incorporate jumping with other activities such as star jumps, jumping, hopping, etc. The next Just Right challenge we're going to look at is how to learn to pick up small objects using your thumb and first finger, which we call a pincer grasp. This is important to be able to grasp small items of food, strings for pull-along toy, small toy objects to place into containers, playing with pegs, threading, picking up coins, doing buttons and pulling up zips on their clothing. So what skills are required to pick up small objects? You need to isolate your thumb and first finger from the rest of your fingers and using them together in opposition to open and close. You need good strength and dexterity and good concentration and focus to see the objects and or feel the objects between your thumb and finger, as you do not always need to see what you're picking up. Why can't my child pick things up using their thumb and first finger? Their muscles in the hands might not have yet developed. They are at an early developmental stage and tend to use their whole hand to pick up objects. They're unable to isolate the rest of their fingers, or they have poor hand strength or poor dexterity. They may also have difficulty with focus, their vision, or have poor sensory feedback in their hands to feel the objects. So how can I help? If the child picks up objects with their whole hand, place items into smaller containers such as yogurt pots, egg cartons, so they are unable to get their whole hand into this to pick up the items. Start by encouraging them to grasp objects using your thumb, first and middle finger. Think of objects that are small enough but not too small to pick up using these fingers, such as finger foods, chunky pens, beads, pasta, blocks, chunky string, buttons, scrunched up paper, chunky chalk, crayons and smallish balls. Gradually reduce the size of the objects that they have to pick up and the size of the container that you put them into. Grasping larger coins to smaller ones as well, and larger pastel shapes to smaller ones, for example. If they struggle to isolate their thumb and first finger from the other fingers, place a small object in their palm, i.e. small toy, tissue, rubber, and encourage them to hold it with their middle, ring and small finger. If strength is a difficulty, encourage them to play with Play-Doh, squeeze sponges in the bath, squash paper in their hands, squeeze clothes pegs open and shut onto clothes or onto the side of small containers, pop bubble wrap and play with squashy toys. If they have poor focus, use play activities that are short and fun and then gradually increase the time they will play with them. If they have poor sensory feedback from their muscles and joints, use hard objects, i.e. blocks, rough objects, hard face cloths, soft sponges, spiky balls, Lego pieces to provide them with lots of different textures to feel. Also provide hand-over-hand assistance in order for the child to achieve the correct grip when playing if they still struggle to manage this. How can I improve their hand skills? Well, you can do this by encouraging them to pick up small pieces and place them into small containers so they can only use their thumb and index finger. Gradually reduce the size of the objects they need to pick up, i.e. fine string, wool, small beads, raisins. Use smaller coins that are placed on the floor for them to pick up using only their thumb and first finger, then post them into a piggy bank or cardboard box with small opening. Play games that have small parts, i.e. pick up sticks, kerplunk, playing with cards or linking paper clips together, ripping up very small pieces of paper to make a collage, pushing popper fastenings together, bubble wrap and squeezing Play-Doh or sponges, managing very small buttons, opening packets of crisps, snacks, threading smaller passive shapes and using small pegs such as hammer beads, etc. Next, we have information on local resources that you can find within Forth Valley, which includes accessing information from your local libraries or leisure centres, and they will have lots more information of where you can go and attend various groups.